Here we go.
Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thalmor Radio. Yeah, he's coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thalmor Radio.
Thalmor Radio.
We out here, ladies and gentlemen. We out here. We doing it. Welcome to the... I was about to say March. Welcome to the April... Am I right? 9th? I think it's the 9th. Yep. April 9th episode of Thalmor Radio. I am your host, the Thalmor, wanted in 7 states and 3 countries. I am here to talk to you about the news. I will talk about the game news, the good news, ladies and gentlemen.
There is no good news in the game news.
Is correct. But the good news is the gospel of Jesus Christ, which I will talk about regularly. But not at this moment. Instead, what I'm going to talk about is the listener survey, which I made an announcement about a while ago. The listener survey, the second one, is up. I will post the link in chat right here. And Soup, I'm going to ask you to also add the link to it in the description for this episode on YouTube, because there's a bunch of people who listen to these recordings probably don't know about the survey. But that's the survey. Fill it out if you haven't already. Questions. Some of them the best you can. Some of them are a bit unique. I've been very pleased with the responses. They've helped. They're good at gauging how you guys feel about things, which I appreciate. I'm happy to see that Mommy Thalmor got some love in the responses. That's really sweet. I told her about it. She liked it. I think you guys want to see her on. I think she wants to come back on. So maybe we'll work something out there. We'll see.
And of course, I'm absolutely positive that what you want to see more on this show is more epic Nemokara content.
Oh, of course.
Especially when I was as drunk as I was last night.
Well, I think he was pretty drunk during that show that you came on last time with the Trial of Taith. You sounded pretty strong.
I wasn't that bad. I could actually remember it. I couldn't remember last night.
Gotcha. So, Tyrion says, Mommy Thalmor can tell us a story about anything. She has plenty of stories. She can share them. But we'll see.
I mean, she raised Thalmor for one.
Oh, that's quite the story right there. Oh, man. All right. So, go fill out the survey, because that helps me figure out things. Now, I'm going to talk about the new radio show on the block, which is Morf Radio. Now, first off, actually, I'll get to that in a minute. But they had their first episode last night, and I'm a bit confused what the show even is, because I was under the impression that they was going to bring in one big name or bigger name from each block, each sphere, and would interview them. But last night on their first episode, they had a guy from every block. So I don't know if it's going to be a panel and they come together weekly to discuss things, or if I'm originally right and they'll have one guy on each week and Morf will interview them. Thinking it's going to be one guy each week, but that last night they had a panel because it was the first episode and it has to become like a big thing. Oh, thank you, Morf, for clarifying. Oh, so it's a weekly panel. Okay, gotcha. I really liked it. I really liked having the panel. It reminded me a lot of older shows from years back in which you just have a bunch of big names from all over and they would just hash shit out with like a bunch of listeners. I like that. That was always fun. I was a bit annoyed when people would try to call Morf because Thalmor is the name for like the hardcore listeners, right? So every time someone would say Morf, I would think they were trying to say Thalmor, and like so every time someone would say his name, I had to catch myself and be like, no, they're talking about Morf the person. You need to rebrand. I am not rebranding. The Purple Gang is still the Thalmorphs. I'm just going to have to get used to the difference. There was a lot of inspiration, and I think Morf even said this on the announcement thread, but I could see the inspiration taken from Thalmor Radio. They're recording the shows, uploading to YouTube. I think some of the Discord names were similar. They did a ping 15 minutes till. So some I'm going to say mimicking, but I feel like mimicking has a negative connotation attached to it, and I don't mean it that way at all. And
just
speaking of
unmute him.
which,
just unmute him and let him explain.
No, there's nothing to explain, really. And also, something that it was Firewolf who's like pinged me in the announcement thread, or someone said, "Oh, Thalmor Radio has competition now." To me, it's not competition. To me, this is just a fun thing that we do for fun, like for the community. There is no competition. And also, the shows are different. Thalmor Radio is me and my big dumb face, and I say big dumb words. Whereas Morf Radio or Morf Show, whatever, is more like I'm going to bring in people and interview them, which is how I think a lot of shows usually are. Because see, Thalmor Radio isn't even my first radio show. My first radio show was in 2017, was Templar Radio, and that's what I did. I would bring on guests every episode for like 20 minutes and yap on about something. So that's kind of more of a traditional show Morf is doing. So there is no competition. There really isn't. We need a copyright trial, Jane says. No, we don't.
It must be very difficult to run something called Templar Radio because, as everyone knows, Templars are all racist, fascist, Nazis, so it's a bad branding.
Big Morph says, unmute Morph. Morph, do you want to come on and say something, bud? I will unmute you if you actually got something to say. Mr. C says, I would do this, but I feel like it'd be hard to come up with stuff to talk about. It is kind of hard. Content is hard. I think I do a good job now, but to get to where I am now with how I talk and the things I talk about, that's been an ongoing process since I begun the show, like, how long ago? 17 months ago? December of 2019? So it's been an ongoing process. Arctic, go ahead and unmute Morph. You get a minute.
Oh, can you
Hey,
hear
man.
me? Okay,
Yeah,
there
you're
we
coming
go.
through just fine.
Sweet, man. How's it going, dude?
It's going good.
Good, Hub. I'm doing pretty good, Morph. How about yourself?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. It's my birthday today, it's a good day.
Oh, happy birthday. How old are you now?
29, man.
29. You're older than me. I'm 23.
I know, I've been playing these stupid nation sims since 2006, man, so...
Oh, God.
I know.
I thought I was bad. I was playing on Nation State since 2009.
Yeah, yeah, man, we're glad to be here, man. I don't see us as competition. I see us as, people that try to improve the game by giving content. So, that's where I'm coming from.
And I agree 100%. It's just something we do for the community. It's fun. And also it's like there's no money to be made.
I wish, But yeah, no. I mean, if just to explain what the Morf Radio concept is, we took some inspiration from. I was in your show last week, and I was like, oh, I think I could maybe do something like this, but I want to do something different. Because I like hearing different things. I'm still relatively new to this particular game. I've only been here since uh, July, maybe, or June, so I don't know lots of the stuff. So I want to hear from different people. So yeah, we're doing a panel every week if we can. Going to get someone from every sphere every week if we can to talk about whatever's going on, just so you can hear what's going on with every different group. Because I think that's something that doesn't exist right now except on the OWF, and that's kind of a shit show, So that's kind of where I'm coming from. So,
And I think that's a good way to do a show. I don't bring in guests as often as I probably should, just because I found the process to be frustrating. A lot of people that I will want to come on be resistant, and
yeah. It's hard to get the kind of people you want to get on a show like this, just because everyone's afraid that it's going to either be a hack show, or people going to argue. But we got some pretty good guests on for that first show, and we're going to hopefully get some new guests on for next week's show. So,
are you going to try to do another panel of 5 people?
yeah, every week that's the goal if we can. Every week, but we're going to try to use some of the same people.
Okay.
We'd love to get different people every week, but that's hard. Because part of the show that I also think is important is to let people get to know different people. Because I think when you actually hear someone's voice in the game, it kind of gives you a different connection. Like, people know who you are because they can come listen to you talk.
Well, I kind of find it makes you more personable.
It does.
You have a lot less chance of being an absolute dick to someone on the OWF after you've heard them speak.
Yeah, I think you talked about this last week, Thalmor, where like people, you kind of feel like you had 2 different personalities, like on the OWF and then here.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can get different people in voice chat, it's a lot harder to be a dick to someone in voice chat than the OWF. So it's more like better conversation, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, it's easy. Like, I theorized, if you remember last episode, that I'm using the more social parts of my brain when I do the show, whereas through text only, I'm using the more analytical side. And I think it's the same way for everyone. So
Yeah.
when someone want to hop on voice chat, it's like, okay, now I have to be social, and like I can't be the tough hardcore dude.
Yeah. I think that's important to be able to hear that personal side, that full brain kind of thing. It really leads to better conversation. So, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, being able to be on here. It's my birthday present. Thank you. It's what I've always wanted, to be on
Thanks
Thalmor
for
Radio.
Really?
Well, I
I
would
could
have had you on
ask.
as a guest. Had you on as a guest eventually.
Oh man, do it. I put it on my survey, but the FBI doesn't know it's me. So
Well, you take care, Morf. I'll see you
I
later.
will. I'll be listening.
All right, so that's Morf Radio. I think that's all I wanted to say about Morf Radio. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I remembered. I don't think so. It was a good show, though. I enjoyed it. I think it was about an hour and a half long. So trying to stick to the hour and a half format is pretty good. And I think that's it. So let me go ahead and hop right into game stuff, and that is there's a poker game. I believe it's Mars and it's Horsecock. They are organizing a high stakes poker game. It's a 100 million buy-in. I think the pot is like in the millions or something. I could be wrong. Is Mars actually? I think Mars is here, ain't he? Mars, do you want to be unmuted to explain what this poker thing is about? Or do you want to type it out in voice chat? It's up to you. Okay, Arctic, unmute Mars real quick. Oh, nope, you don't want to be, I don't think. Nope, he's just typing it out. Okay, that's fine. Mars says 100 million buy-in, 2 buy-ins max, as many people as possible. So if you enjoy poker because you're a degenerate gambler and you want to risk your money on the sin of gambling, then there you go. Hop right in. And it's probably gonna be a good time. Poker's fun. I've played poker in like the Yakuza games, and it's a fun time. Addiction is a disease. Yeah, the executive game. And I can confirm that inspiration for this is coming somewhat from The Sopranos. So, there you go. Mars, Real asks how many people have bought in so far. Mars, 3 so far. So hopefully they can get 1 or 2 more people on before they do it. All right. So, I think that's it. I wanted to advertise the poker game, talk about the war, but I think that's all there is to talk about. Is there anything else that I'm going to do the final call now? So, is there anything else I should cover before I start talking about the war and the circumstances around the war?
Well, for any British people here, I have the Honest Brew referral code, and I'm in a competition to try and win a year of free beer. So, if you'd like to help me win a year of free beer, message me on Discord. It's GVH #4198. You'll get £10 of free beer, and you'll help me win this incredible competition, which will keep me giving these incredible co-hosting messages for a long time coming.
Okay, so as GVH shills for his alcohol addiction, is there anything else I need to talk about the game before I talk about the war?
Oh, the game's dead. Fuck the game.
Well, that's what Alpha said. An Alpha member said, "Game's dead." LOL. So that's dope.
No, they're dead. Alpha is dead.
So Jane says, Thalmor is doing quite well. She's doing good. Okay. I don't think there's much to talk about. So I want to talk about the war. So we hit Alpha and Polaris Wednesday, and we hit Prima Victoria, I think is what they're called, last night. I am personally fighting Mindsum, which is very base. I'm smashing his face in. I made a really dope like Muslim KT flag though. I'm currently using it. It's really dope. It's got like the black background, the white cross with some Arabic writing at the top. It's pretty good looking. Our motivation for
Mindsum fell victim to a very, very common error. He fell victim to what happens when you post your plans to go to war in a channel whilst also having your econ minister be the people you're going to war with.
Yeah, and Mindsum openly admitted like an hour ago or 2 on Ron that they were planning to hit KT. So we preempted them. Just like with the ASM, we preempted. Our motivation, from my understanding, to hit Polaris and Alpha just because they were easy targets. They're inactive, they're kind of dumb and incompetent and useless. So they were just easy raid targets. The first beiges went out, 2.5 hours ago. No loot. Alpha dumped their shit. They moved their bank. Apparently, the Polaris guys have good loot on them, and it's smaller KT members who are ravaging them. But for us big boys who took on Alpha, not much available to us.
The Polaris Bank's got some decent loot. I'm getting 2.5 million out of the Polaris Bank and a load of food.
Yeah, so Polaris has some stuff. But Alpha didn't have anything. Alpha, I almost did a thread on Alpha in which I was like, rest in peace, Alpha. They're missing, that their plane crashed. over the Rockies. They're gone. But nope. They after 29 hours. 29 hours. The first alpha member logged in, and then the rest of them logged in. And I understand the meme about alpha. They're a bunch of multis. They all did kind of come online at the same time. They were all inactive for like 29 plus hours, and then finally they all kind of come online at the same time. And what's been very strange is that Changeup has been a very passionate defender of Alpha. Every time you mention Alpha is multis, Changeup will appear to say no, they're not. Here's Exhibit A. It's very odd. I searched for it in the chat in Ron. I said from Changeup Multi. And Changeup is like, no, they're not. Time and time again, day after day. No, they're not multis. No, they're not multis. He is so adamant in his defense of Alpha not being multis. It's kind of suspect. It's like, whoa. Okay, but that's like saying, like, no, I did not sell Thomas the drugs that he overdosed on. No, I did not sell Thomas the drugs. No, I did not sell. Like, at some point, your denial is weird, you know? It's like, whoa.
I have spoken, I will admit, I have spoken to two of them, and I don't think they're the same person.
I don't think Alpha or Multis either, for the record. I don't think they are. But it's a funny meme. Funny meme, and I understand it's coming from.
Right. The thing is with multis. With multis, you've got this issue where, so if you're one person controlling 16 large accounts, you can coordinate that shit. If they're multis, they're multis who have forgotten most of their passwords.
One alpha member did log in and like he VM'd. That was funny. And he changed his nation description to say, sorry, KKT, you can't get this treasure. So that was funny. And we laughed at him because that was funny.
Did we get the treasure?
No, we did. No, he went to VM, so it respawned. So he cucked us out of the treasure.
Oh, that's sad.
For 2 weeks. Yeah, Saxon just posted a screenshot there. So, I think a Rose guy called us terrorists on the OWF.
Oh, God.
A fighting pacifist member said that they should have an auction to determine who can get KT slots. So there's been some seethe from this, but nothing too big, nothing yet.
Do you think maybe that's why TFP didn't counter for us for 45 minutes most times? Could be having their incredible auction while we fuck their countries up?
I disagree, Namu. It was TFP who usually would counter us.
Yeah, but they'd still wait an hour.
That's not how I remember. I always had TFP members on my ass like as soon as I.
Yeah, it was always TFP, but it took them a while.
That's not how I remember, but that's okay. First off, am I a robot? My shit's red.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know why Discord lies to me and says that my shit's bad when it's not. It's pretty cringe. Discord's cringe, but whatever. Anyways, we ended up hitting Primo Victoria the day after we hit Alpha and Polaris. That was yesterday. I'm hitting, I think the two top guys, Mindsum and whoever the City 29 guy is. That's pretty fun. And, surprisingly, I expected this to play out the same way it did with Rose. I expected COA to mill up. We would preempt COA, and then TS would come in, and then after like a week, we would just go our separate ways. But no, COA
COA have been an absolutely disgraceful protector. They've
Not
been
even Protector. Like
no,
2 of their allies have been hit. Like
yeah.
just all around, not the best ally. Like you can just hit all of COA's allies for no reason, and they'll just be like, whatever. So that's pretty weird.
I was honestly amazed that they did literally nothing. I thought they would do something. Even if it was a useless blitz, I thought they would do something.
They have large nations too, not even countering the 40 guys in the training alliance. Like they have the numbers to do some damage, but they're
Yeah.
like, no, we're not even gonna try. Now I brought this up, I had a talk with Mindsum like an hour ago in Ron, and he was like, well, there's a group chat with all of us, and we all just told COA to stay out. In which case, it's like, oh, so this is the power of KT. We can make 3 different alliances tell their mutual ally to just stay out so that they'll be safe. Like, that's incredible. That's like the father telling his son, no, put your sword down. Me and your uncle will go fight the giant and die for ourselves. You go stay safe, son. So that's kind of cringe. So, and I can buy it. Like, okay, sure, cuck of Adam are cucks if they're not defending their allies. But if all 3 of their allies are saying we don't want them to come in, then that does make it better. Because it's like, well, respect your allies' wishes, right? But still, then it's like, well, that just shows that KT is really badass that we can do that. Whatever. I digress. Beige my 3 alpha guys. I'm going to, I think, beige my PV guys tomorrow. One of them might beige me, actually, because of his ships. And I had to open up the war with an airstrike. So he might actually beige me first. We'll see.
I thought that about one of my Polaris guys, but I beiged him.
Yeah, well, but this guy's actually active, whereas Polaris is, like, not. So, we'll see. It's going fine. It's probably in. I don't see us doing another round because Alpha had shitty loot. I think Polaris had better, but only so many people can hit Polaris. PV, lots of people out of range. It's probably it. This will probably finish out over the next couple days. And I think that's it. Anything else about the game I should talk about before I move on? Or is that it? What do you think the name should be? Of this war? I really liked WTF is KT doing. That was good. It's hard to top that one. I think Northern Crusade is fine because I associate the name Polaris with like snowy northern land, right? So Northern Crusade is probably fine. I can get behind that. For alding moments? Do you mean raiding moments? Top alpha raiding moments is when they didn't come online for 29 hours. That's pretty funny. Can you imagine being at war for over a day and probably not knowing about it? But whatever. Okay, so I want to talk about dead people now. So 2 people died today. Prince, what's his fucking name? Henry? Prince Phillips? I don't know. The old guy, Elizabeth's husband, he passed away today. I guess the blood flow, the blood supply of young sacrifice infants does have an upper limit, and the upper limit appears to be 99. So that's good that we figured that out. I have nothing to say about that because I don't care about the royal family, and I don't really care about the British. So he's dead. Whatever. Jaden has posted a picture of the guy. Looks like a ghoul from Fallout. Seriously. Looks like a ghoul.
If you want some context as to how the British establishment has handled this, the BBC had from about 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. was running both channels of the BBC were running pictures of Prince Philip set to somber music. That is how they've handled it.
Yeah.
And apparently, if the Queen dies, it's worse.
And like, I don't know, I kind of like her for some reason. The husband, I don't care about. Whatever. And the
Queen's
second
fine.
person who died today is that son of a bitch, Jonathan. Jonathan fucking knew he owed me $230. He didn't fucking pay up, and he got what was coming to him. So burn in hell, Jonathan. You get what you fucking deserve.
Who?
Oh wait, hold on, wait a minute. No. Oh, I'm talking. Said it was DMX, the rapper DMX. He died. He died today from a drug overdose. And apparently he's been struggling with drugs for a long time. Apparently he's overdosed several times before, but now, this time it got him. I think he like went into a coma and just didn't wake up. Oh, he's gone, and that sucks. I kind of like DMX because despite the whole rapper thug thing he had going on, apparently he was a very vocal Christian. I read a story once about these two groupies who went up to his hotel room, and they thought they were going to get fucked, right? Because, so groupies do. But instead, he was apparently there with the Bible, and he tried preaching to them. And that's pretty based. So I thought that was funny. I think that's a real story. It might not be. I might have been bamboozled. But I'm going to choose to believe it's a real story. And that's pretty cool. So it's that. Rest in peace, DMX. Trying to look for something. Okay. I got nothing to look for. He was brain dead. Yeah, that's what happened or something. Just the overdose was too much. So
the lesson we can learn from this is don't do drugs, kids.
I agree. You will learn good lessons listening to Thalmor Radio. Don't do drugs and don't shoot people. Those are the two lessons you have to learn. And maintain some principles. Those are the three lessons of Thalmor Radio. Don't do drugs, don't shoot people, maintain some principles. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. There's all you need to know right there. And I think that's it. Saxon says, shoot people that do drugs. That's
shoot people with drugs.
With drugs, I don't know about that one. But the ones that do that sell it. Well, not sell it. He said do. Okay. I don't care much for junkies, but maybe let's not shoot the people who do drugs just yet.
I mean,
what CCT said, shoot people who sell drugs. That's a reasonable position.
Not people who are found in possession of drugs. Shoot them with the drug.
Go shoot Walter White, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to do. I've been watching Breaking Bad lately. I've been binge watching Breaking Bad for like 2 weeks now. I just finished episode 1 of season 4, like right before I started the show. It's a good time. I like it. The first season, I was like, eh. And then I read that apparently it picks up after the first season. And it does. It gets really good. Like, the first season was good. But after the first season, it's like, whoa, this is real good. There you go.
I'll have to see if they've already described that shit. I don't think they have, though.
I got the Blu-ray. My internet is shit. Big surprise. So I like... So I got the Blu-ray box set of Breaking Bad. I watched The Sopranos the same way. I got it on Blu-ray. Expensive though, but it was a good time. Any other real-life topics I need to go over before I unmute Graybird and have him speak? as I plug in my external phone battery here to keep my phone going so I can keep the show going. Ooh.
Ooh.
Don't marry a social justice warrior Hollywood actress. Are you referring to Meghan Markle? Because she seems kind of...
Meghan Markle strikes me as a horrible person, a massive attention seeker with no morals.
Yeah, she seems like a bit of a homewrecker to me. I didn't think it was the best, but whatever. Gosh, did anything else happen I need to go over? What's been going on in foreign affairs? Is the U.S. bombing anyone else? That's what I need
Not
to know.
yet, no. They want to, obviously, but they've not done yet.
You know who the U.S. should bomb?
France.
I was going to say something else, but bombing France would actually be pretty dope, actually.
You just...
Especially Paris. Especially fucking Paris. Oh my gosh.
You know how R just raids useless nations and KT robs useless alliances of their assets? America should be the KT of the world. Just
I think in
take
many
over
ways,
nations that
America
don't
is
deserve
the
to exist.
KT. I think America already kind of is the KT. Like, KT terrorizes a lot of people, and I think the United States terrorizes a lot of people. So I think it's the same in a lot of ways. All right, so I think I'm ready to have Graybird on now. And unmute Graybird, Arctic, and we can get into this. France probably has a secret NDP with UK. Oh man. All right. What's up, Graybird? What's happening?
Not much.
And we were DMing just a minute ago, but it's hard. It's really, really, really hard to do this show and DM at the same time. So you asked to come on a week ago after I finished the last episode, and I remember you saying something like you had some logs you wanted to share or whatever. But as we DM'd a minute ago, that seems to have evolved into something else. So how about we start off with this? Is there anything you want to share with people before I begin to talk to you?
Not particularly, no. The logs I was going to share, I've decided not to share.
Aww.
Okay. Can you explain your motivation for changing your mind, or is that still too much?
I decided I didn't want to post the logs because I was initially posting them out of spite, and I decided I did not want to hurt that person.
That is a principled stance, and I can appreciate it. So, I believe you wanted to evolve this situation into you want me and probably the audience to ask you questions about Taith, and you will try to clear the air. Am I correct in this idea?
Yes.
Okay, so here's how I will open up, and let me explain my perspective. I have no idea what happened with Taith. I had Abigor on to explain what happened. I still know. I don't know what Taith did wrong, and that is kind of frustrating.
That's my understanding as well.
And it's like to only say things that I think I can back up with some reasoning or some evidence, and I can't do that I can't look at Taith and say what you did wrong from A to B to B to C. Here's why you're bad, and here's why you deserve it. Taith has been and people around Taith have been involved in controversy before, and to a point it's like where the smoke there's fire. So I can't also say that they're innocent either. How about you explain the best you can, like what happened, and like are you guys like what went wrong?
So I think where everything initially went wrong was when Green decided he wanted to merge all the banks he had accumulated in the past months. This was back in either July or June, late June, I think, and form them into the mega corporation that would be called 53C Corporation. And the idea on paper was great. It looked great. The companies that were going to be part of it, they were great. Profits were great. Well, everything changed once we switched over to this mega corporation format, and the root cause of this is, I'd have to say, is because once we merged, Green was essentially in charge. And not to say that he was scamming us, but my understanding is that he's just really shitty at managing the banks. He's good at managing the people who manage the banks, but he's very bad at managing the banks himself. And he drove us into the ground, not necessarily because of what he did, but the lack of what he did. And then from there, we see him try to regain what was the previous Taith profits by constantly merging with other banks, and that just created a spiral effect.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last part? What created a spiral effect?
Green's continuous merging with other banks and buying into those banks, and then having those banks buy into us.
Okay, and that was a problem. Why?
Well, so here's the root of Arctic's main claim, Taith's value that doesn't really exist. We invest in a company, that company invests in another company, and that company invests in Taith. Now, you have a circle of investment. Theoretically, you could say that the value is any number you want, because you could keep putting money into those businesses that doesn't really exist simply because they're investing in each other. And that's what happened with Taith.
So essentially what you're telling me is that the issue with Taith wasn't because anything they did wrong, but more because they did too much right. They monopolised the banking market, and they essentially made other companies subservient to them. Is that right?
In a way, yes, but in doing so, it really put a value out there for a company that we really couldn't back up in dividends. We tried the best we could to back it up, but we quickly realized that wasn't possible. And as we all saw, or anyone who watched saw, dividends dropped sharply in the months following August and September, from billions of dollars to near hundreds of millions.
I'm a bit quiet right now. That's just because I'm trying to grasp the situation. Sounds like to me the problem was that on paper you had all of this shit, but the actual available cash flow wasn't reflective of it. And it's what CCT just said. They weren't a scam; they were just bad at running a business, and that seems to be what this sounds like.
Exactly.
That like money was stolen or whatever. It was just that in a way they were just accounting errors.
Mm-hmm. Now, the problem with the Ponzi scheme accusations comes along when Green accounts for this technically infinite growth of wealth, but not real profits. He counts it as profits, or he counted it as profits, but there was no way we could back that up.
Yeah.
And that's where the biggest problem came in.
So I'm really happy to be getting an A to B explanation on the problem, but like, there's an idea which is that if you are so bad at something, it's like it does kind of become criminal though, because that sounds like if he is using all of this floaty, funny, non-existent monopoly money to say, look how much shit we have, just don't align. That does sound pretty fishy though, right?
Yeah, I was against how he valued Tate. I really didn't think he should have valued us publicly. Rather, I think we should have only reported profits, which is the only thing that we could report and back up with funds. Because the value is very different than the profits. Value goes up, but our profits didn't go up. In fact, they went down. And the reason they went down is due to other reasons, like, I'm trying to remember the different things that happened that Tate was accused of, and the drop in Tate Bank popularity before all this started, like months ago. That drove down our business, and to make up for that, Green's initiative was to reduce loan rates, and that was absolutely horrible. Before, we had been running on 2 to 3% interest per week. His new policy, which he enacted, lowered our interest rates to 1% a month. And this killed us.
So, what was Green's motivation to give you guys such a massive valuation?
He doesn't like to admit when he's losing. No matter how small of a loss it is, he would rather lie and dig himself into a hole rather than admit that he's losing.
Was he not losing money though?
He was
just making
but he
lots of
didn't want to admit it.
acquisitions.
He was,
So
but he doesn't like to admit that he's losing.
How was he losing money in this process?
Well, because we still had to pay dividends. And we had a set rate of dividends. We couldn't send out dividends below a certain point. And we weren't making enough money to meet that certain threshold of being able to send out money for the dividends and still have profit. So eventually it came to a point where the members of Tate, the alliance, our revenue went towards paying off our dividends rather than us keeping them to spend ourselves. So a lot of the last couple months, and especially the last couple weeks, those weren't really dividends from profits. Those were dividends coming from what the nations in Tate were creating.
Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah. So I think I get it now. Anything else? So you've explained the problem, which is that you kept acquiring all these companies, and because of these acquisitions, created a monopoly. All of these banks had all these investments into each other. And so on paper, you could say there's all this valuation. In reality, it's monopoly money. It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even monopoly money. It's just not even real. And the numbers weren't there, and people got pissy. Okay.
Exactly.
So what else? What else contributed to this mess, if anything else?
So about Green buying back all not buying back all the shares and basically just stealing what money Tate had left instead of buying out the shareholders, I largely blame Arctic on that. So I blame Arctic for the majority of the loss here because while there was no money, we were still paying dividends. We were slowly, albeit very slowly, buying back as many of the shareholders as we could because Green wouldn't admit it, he knew that we had to buy those shares back before it completely crippled our economy. So I think that Arctic, in the end, did a lot more damage in how he approached the matter than he did good.
Okay, in a way, though, could you just say that Arctic was trying to look out for consumers while Tate was busy playing with money that doesn't exist?
Yes, but his main claim was that we're a Ponzi scheme and that he was doing this to stop more people from losing money. At this point, we weren't taking any more investments. We weren't opening up more banks. There was no one else putting money in. There were only people who already had money in and who we were trying to slowly pay back.
Gotcha. Arctic. Was there some deceit on motivations Arctic. But it's whatever. Alright, so Graybird. So besides being like negligent and incompetent to the point of like probably criminal, I mean, is Taith innocent? Was there good intentions ultimately?
Yes, I do think Green's intentions were good throughout all of this, because he could have very easily, at the very beginning of when we were starting to lose money, cut it all and kept the money hidden. No one knew where the money was. Arctic wasn't part of Taith, so he couldn't leak it. No one in Taith would have leaked it at the time, and he could have just hid all that money. But rather, he kept on paying the dividends, and he kept on dealing with it until eventually he did crack, and eventually he did do exactly what I said. But I don't think he would have done that if Arctic hadn't done what he had done. I think Green would have fulfilled the mandate to buy back all the shares.
So Green had good intentions, right?
That's my view, because I've worked with him for almost a year now, and I know him more than just in politics and war. We talk IRL a lot as well, and he doesn't seem like the kind of person who would do that. He's always when we talk about a new business, it was never about how we would create revenue. Most of the time, his main concern was what we're going to do for the shareholders, what we're going to do for the customers, what will we give our customers that is different, not what we can do to make money. I mean, as I said, he reduced those loan rates from 3% a week to 1% a month. That killed Taith. But for anyone who was taking a loan, that was incredible. It's basically free money at that point. And I just don't see him intentionally trying to steal people's money or scam them.
So how do you fit peg of Green had good intentions into the round hole of Green wanted to fudge the numbers because he didn't want to lose?
Yes, well, that's where it gets a bit difficult, where I can only...
Oh, doesn't it?
I assume. Notice I said I assume, based on his character that I know. But like I said, I think he just fudges the numbers because he doesn't want to admit that he loses. He has a very large ego, and not wanting to lose doesn't really hurt people necessarily. I mean, it did in this case, but not wanting to lose isn't intentionally wanting to hurt people.
Sure. Okay. I think that's kind of it for stuff that I have. Helped illuminate the situation more. Now I can actually kind of explain to someone what happened. Which I was hoping I could have done this like after the trial or something, but now I finally do kind of know. Are you open to taking questions from the audience, Graybird?
Yeah, sure.
Stop, hold on. Is Taith even still around? What's going on with them?
They're all in VM. I have been trying to DM Green for the past week in multiple forms, and he has not responded, so I don't know. I'm the only member of Taith that's still part of Taith that isn't Green, Rob, and his wife. But Taith's, yeah, it's pretty dead. I haven't had contact with any of them since they all went VM, despite sharing multiple servers and previously regularly DMing each other. I do think Green does plan on coming back, just like he did after his previous fiascos. How long that is, I have no idea. Probably, at the minimum, I'm going to say a year. I'm not sure if Rob plans on coming back.
So what's your opinion of Green right now, Graybird?
Can you elaborate?
Well, I've known Green since 2016. I left my micro to join Odd Squad, and the Odd Squad merged into Cobalt, and Cobalt was led by Green. And I got to know him, and he's a good guy in a lot of ways. I liked having him as leader. When I was leader of KT and Taith was Duat, or maybe they were Lane of Confusion. Actually, yeah, they were Lane of Confusion at that time. I enjoyed having Green as an equal. We were leaders of our two separate alliances. And ultimately, I do like the guy. But given some of his behavioral patterns, and I'm not a medical person by any means, he does kind of seem to be... Gosh, I don't want to...
Thalmor? You just cut out. I didn't hear whatever you said last.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
Something about Greenland, or I can't remember.
I've known Green for a while, and we talked off and on for a number of years. But the thing with Green, and if you want me to elaborate, I can. But Green seems to be, and this is a very harsh word, and I almost don't even want to use it, but he seems like he's kind of a psychopath in that he just kind of seems to do whatever he wants, and if he has no use for something, he kind of is just done with it. And you're seeing this seemingly right now with how he was talking to him so much, and now he's just gone.
Yes, I will admit Green definitely has some sociopathic tendencies, and I think that's probably the largest factor that got in the way in this whole thing is both his inability to admit defeat, but also his inability to see it from the perspective of the shareholders and think about how this could be affecting them. Not that he ignored it, but that it didn't cross his mind to think about those things.
Yeah, and I don't want to shit on Green necessarily, because I do kind of like him, and we had some good times together. But it's like a spade's a spade, and if you hang around him long enough, you'll probably get burned yourself, So that's how I kind of feel about it and think about it. So do you think you're going to stay around with Green and work with him? Do you think you're going to join another alliance? I mean, what are you going to do, Gray?
I am not staying in Taith anymore, no. Come Monday, I will be leaving Taith, and I will already have, what's the word?
Well, if you join KT, use my referral link and then Thalmor will give you 500 million.
I'm not joining KT, no. That's
Or
not
the
my
invite.
alliance. No offense. But I already have an alliance I'm joining.
Where you going?
I don't know if I want to say yet.
Is it cursed?
Oh.
Do you say is it cursed?
Yeah.
No. I am just afraid that if where I'm going, people who don't like Taith or me will then go complain to the people I'm going to join and somehow convince them not to let me join.
No, the only reason you couldn't say it to me and Thalmor is if you got loot.
What? What did you say, Namu?
But the only reason not to say it to people like me and Thalmor is if you've got loot.
I mean, it's not just you two here, though. There's lots of people here, and people here have friends, and they will go tell friends. And if as many people hate Taith and me as a lot of people claim they do, then they certainly will care, and some certainly will go to that extreme.
And it's not just about loot. I'm sure you have info you don't want to lose. Well,
I
don't know, actually.
Did you? It's all gone.
Not to wait for loot, for fuck's sake.
There's no loot either.
Yeah, so, alright, well, great.
There is loot,
That's
but not on my nation.
So great. I think that's about it for me. Are you open to taking questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so audience members, ask Graybird if you have anything. So I'm kind of out of things to go over now. I don't see anyone typing anything. Okay, here comes James. What's James got? Your keyboard is so fucking loud.
I'm sorry. I don't have a mic, and I'm using a MacBook, so give me a break.
Well, great. Thanks for coming on, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for helping to clarify what happened with Taith. Because now I know more, and that's always good when I know more, because I don't know a lot. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't say anything. I don't know if you were still there or not.
Yeah, I'm still here. Any
Alright, well.
Any final questions?
Nope.
Alright.
Alright, well, I'll see you later, Graybird. Arctic, you can go ahead and remute Gray. I wanted to talk about this during the real life section, but I forgot. But now I can. I have been reminded of it. So I'm going to post it. So Hunter Biden has been in the news some.
Yeah.
And some pictures from Hunter Biden's laptop has been leaked. And I'm going to post them. Be warned. Be warned. These images are slightly not safe for work. Actually, not slightly. They are not safe for work. If you are in your living room with parents or whatever, probably no, don't look at them. But I'm going to upload them because they're really interesting.
Will they make liberals cry?
Okay, I've uploaded the pictures in the chat, and I have to say, Hunter Biden he looks like an absolute Chad.
What's he doing in the pictures? Sorry, I can't see.
Okay, yeah. So in the first picture, Namu, Hunter Biden is shirtless in a hotel room. He's got a woman by the hair. She's bent over, but they're both dressed. But he's pulling on her hair while pushing her down.
Ooh, that looks good.
And in the second picture, which is even more Chad, he's laying down. There's two half-naked women on top of him. I presume their asses are between his dick, but we can't see that. Their thighs are covering it up. Actually, no, he has his shorts on, but who knows? Anyways, the funny thing about this picture, though, is the giant Squirtle plushie that's in the corner, and there's also a dog on the bed. So that's pretty interesting. I agree, James. He's living his life. He's having a good old time. Pretty Chad. Pretty Chad, I have to say.
He just likes to let his cock exercise.
There you go. So that's interesting. It's really funny. I love the Squirtle plushie though, and like he's in a hotel room. So does Hunter Biden just travel with a Squirtle plushie? Is that what that's about? I don't get it. But whatever. He's living life. Good on him.
Maybe it's a comfort plushie. You know, like some people have assistance dogs.
Maybe. Maybe one of the girls brought it. Maybe. That could be it. But what kind of prostitute brings a Squirtle plushie to their... You know what? I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate. Who knows what Hunter Biden's into. Alright, so... Maybe he bought it for them? Who buys plushies for their prostitutes? Okay, I'm done thinking about this. This is too degenerate for my Christian heart.
Well, just kill the Christianness off and become a pagan.
Nah, that's cringe. I'm not gonna do that. Alright, so girls do love plushies, that is true. The number of girls who are like, I would fall in love if I got a giant teddy bear is pretty big. So, there you go. I think that's it for me. I talked about real life news. There ain't much. I talked about game news. There ain't much besides the war, which has been kind of boring, but it's fine. Graybird came on, was a good guest. I think that's it for me. I think I'm done. Namu, thank you for providing some rolling commentary. And
No worries, it's fine.
And I think I'm done for the day. So play out the theme, Arctic, and we will all be dismissed for the evening. Soup in.